welcome everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hi.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Ronnie, for being on the phone.
Yeah.
Let's go around the room to my left, all the way around, and then we'll get to Ronnie, so we can let Ronnie get back home, and just introduce yourselves.
I'm Sid.
I'm Devin, aka Ophelia.
I am Corey.
I'm Stella.
I'm Havana.
I'm Willow.
And I'm MJ, host of this mess. And I'll start off with a little bit about me. I do this podcast, and the shows that we do from Pride every year are the best ones and the most important ones that we do, because it gives people a voice that usually they don't have a voice. And in 2019, I went for the first time, and what did we have, like 35,000 people over the course of the weekend?
One less zero. 3,500.
3,500.
Yeah, one less zero than that.
Okay.
For each year, it's in the neighborhood of like $3,000.
$3,000. That's still for Kingman.
That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
a good chunk of the population.
And for me, coming from back east and stuff, where I'll just keep it like people were tolerant back east, that I was really bitter about Kingman, and to see that turnout that first year was just incredible. It was the best event I'd ever been to in Kingman, and unfortunately in 2020 all that happened, and it kind of went away for a couple years.
Yeah, you can ask Ronnie. Like, when we were planning, there were times, and there are still times, where we're just like, well, even if nothing else happens, we're going to have a beer in the park with our friends. Like, we don't know what this is going to look like. But, and then every year the vendors come in and set up, and then people start coming in the entrance, and we're like, oh, shit, it happened.
This is happening.
Yeah.
I know, like the first year, that was the first time we'd ever done anything like that live, and I was just like, I started getting like stage fright, like, oh shit. I'm used to just talking to snow across the table, and there's no one else really listening. But it ended up being a great experience. So Ronnie, we'll get to you first. What is your job this year at Pride?
Oh, well, I like to be a person of many, many hats, but this year I'm fortunate enough that I'm basically just our entertainment director, and I'm kind of overseeing everything that's happening at Beale Celebrations, our extra events. I have a really great team. I'm very fortunate. Starfrost and Sophia have done a great job with keeping me organized. But right now, my oversight has just been making sure that we have enough talent and entertainment booked up for 2 days and 3 events. And this is probably the most successful year that we've had as far as booking entertainment goes, because some of the talent that we have coming from all over are insane. They're just amazing. They're like legitimate recording artists. They have records out. They have music videos. These are really people who are akin to their profession and their passion. They're incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I follow the page, of course, and yeah, it looks amazing. Can you give us a couple names on it?
So I'm going to be biased. I love everyone I've talked to so far, but the latest person that we posted, her name is Hashra Goto, and she's actually from New York. She just moved to Arizona, and her music it's so deeply written, and it's built on vibration. So her music is built on frequencies that are supposed to elicit a healing and escape from trauma.
Oh, wow.
So you listen to it and then you pair it with her lyrics, and it's really empowering. It's just impactful.
Hey,
then we have a band.
Hey, can you text me that after?
Yeah,
I want
sure.
to check it out and promote it when I publish this.
Oh yeah, I've been sharing her Spotify link to everyone because she's incredible.
Okay.
We have another band. They're a duo. They're from Phoenix, and they're called Snailmate, and they do incredibly fast rap. Like, incredibly fast. And it's written from the perspective of queer men living in the modern world. So it's really interesting to see these artists come together and, they're traveling on their own time, they're performing for free, and they're just excited to be part of something authentic and real. So we're very, very lucky.
Yeah. And since I got both of you on, Willow and you on, speak to us a little bit about what Mohave Pride is going to need going forward after this year's festivities.
Ronnie, do you want me to answer?
Yeah, I'll do that one for you because you're the big boss.
And you should see it. She's like taller than all of us. She's like towering over us.
Oh yeah, she's very imposing.
So to put it bluntly, if we don't have replacements for our positions for the president, vice president, etc., next year's Pride won't happen. And I know that sounds really like do or die, but it is.
Yeah, because it's a massive undertaking.
And two of our main organizers don't live in the same area. Ronnie's the closer of the two, living in Casa Grande. And then Taylor lives in Georgia. And it is still up in the air on whether or not Taylor will be able to even attend. And Pride isn't the only thing that we want to do. There's a lot of need all year round, not just for the festival. There's a lot of need for outreach. There's a lot of need for organizing. There's just a lot of need for community and a lot of need for networking. And right now that has fallen to the main 4 or 5 people, and it's just not sustainable. And like me personally, I was talking to my sister earlier, and I was like, I wonder what the warning signs are for a heart attack. Like, not like actually having one, but like, how do you know when you're getting to that point? I personally, I don't have enough gas left in my tank to take care of my family and think about next year's Pride. I'm dragging myself to this one, not because I don't want to be a part of it, but because my attention is so divided between my family and their needs and the event. I cannot give my best self to this, and that is the worst feeling of all. So moving forward, we need people to step into our places, and we would be there for guidance and for like, this is how you do it and this is what we do. But these people would also have to be able to take the lead and make decisions moving forward without us. And if that doesn't happen, we're not going to have Pride next year.
Yeah.
And we actually, when we created the organization, that's something that we were very mindful of. So we actually included in our bylaws that there should be a 5-year term limit. That way we are constantly seeking new ideas and a fresh perspective, because we don't want Mohave Pride to turn into something corporate and conglomerated. We want it to always be mindful of the community and the impact that which we can create. And to do that, you have to have fresh eyes and a new perspective. So...
Well, Ronnie, we're going to let you go and get to the rest of this conversation. I'll post this later. You can listen to the rest. Thank you for giving us a little bit of time. Please pass my information on to the performers, because we would love to have them come up and talk to us. We get so wrapped up in what we're doing that we don't really have the time. I wish I could hire a producer to go around and wrangle people to come over to us. But I would love for more of the performers to come talk to us this year. And I have some of my business cards. I'll give the Willow on it that will kind of, hey, you should go talk to these people. They're right over there. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ronnie, thank you for all you do, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I get to see you guys too. I love everyone there. Have a great day. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Ronnie.
Yay, Ronnie.
Yeah. And just an absolute sweetheart.
I don't know how Ronnie wrangles all of the schedules. Like, every time slot for the 2 main days and then the 3 after parties. I don't know how.
Well, yeah. Now you have 2 after party. Well, we have 1 before party, right? 1 after party, and then you have the brunch going on.
Yeah. And total transparency, have 5 million names for you running through my head.
Just call me one of them.
Devin would probably know more about like what those parties are going to look like than me. I am like behind the scenes, back of house, like paperwork and licensing and all of the gross sign your name here a million times stuff. And you work directly with Star and Ronnie, so I don't even know what the gala looks like. I have no clue. I don't know what the plan is.
To be honest, I haven't even gotten to know what we're doing for the gala. I know we're going to have it set up at Beale. I don't know how we're going to set it up or what we're going to set it up for,
So it's going to be a surprise.
So it's going to be a surprise for everyone. Like, I'll find out because I'll probably be helping set it up that day for that evening. I'll probably find out within that first week or that week prior.
And is the gala when we're planning on, or when Ronnie and everyone is planning on doing the next royalty?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm one of the candidates.
Yay.
No promises, y'all. I'm like the 99-cent store rat queen.
That's another one of those things where I disagree on that, because the 99-cent store queen falls out after one job, and you've been at all of the shows, you've been at all of the prides, you have been present for probably more than me.
And then your eyes look fabulous today.
Thank you. I did a rainbow, like, cut wing kind of deal. I don't know.
But that's another spot. The royalty is not just like, we wear a rad crown and wave real cool. It's going to other prides. It's talking to other organizations. It's a lot of outreach. So we had our lovely queen, Alicia, and as I was explaining earlier, like, it's a lot. The world is on fire, and we still have to figure out how to work and pay for groceries and get our kids to school and go to doctor's appointments and do pride. And it was too much. She had really, really big things happen in her life, and it wasn't something that she could put the energy needed into this position, and we totally understand. Like, it's no shame, no nothing like that. We just have to do our best to work together to accomplish the outreach, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. I know, I mean, even what you do and what Ronnie does, I had thought, like, well, I should step up and, do more. But then between, my work and my kids and doing this, it's, like, I don't have a lot of free time.
It's a lot of work doing outreach, and I can tell you that because of what I do. It takes a lot of time, like, even if you're off the clock. Like, you're never off the clock. You're always constantly doing it.
Yeah.
It is tiring.
Yeah. So let's start off. I guess we kind of like go around the table again and stuff like that, and I'll start. It's something I don't really talk about, but I feel like I should, especially on right now. Is my youngest is transgender, and as a parent, it's rough, And when I first heard, I was younger, and I don't know if I like boys or girls. So it's okay. I'm gonna love you no matter what. I'm gonna support you. Which is the case. And then they grow up to be older teenagers, and it gets to be a little bit more difficult, as probably Willow would attest to, that younger.
But they develop an allergy to parents.
Yeah, that's what I got going on now. But I remember there's also the fear of, you've heard it, all things like, hey, if I see someone going into the bathroom, into a woman's bathroom, I'm going to, what are you going to do? They're just going to the bathroom. And I had that experience we were going to see Muse up in Vegas, and stopped to use the restroom, and they chose to use the women's restroom because it wore like this sundress type of thing, and did makeup on, and that fear that I had, like, I'm just, like, watching the back, because if someone's going in there after my kid, I'm going in there, and then there's going to be, there's going to be a real problem, so it's difficult for me to talk about, because I want to be accepting, but hesitant on that also, because I want to protect them, especially in this area. But then I feel hypocritical, because I'm a big supporter of Pride, and I'm there every year, and I support the community. I 100%. And I feel hypocritical that my own child makes me feel uncomfortable. Not that my child makes me feel uncomfortable. The situation makes me feel uncomfortable.
So my experience with the feelings that you're describing are twofold. One, my child is AFAB and non-binary. When they feel like taking up space, their pronouns are very much they, them. They're 11, and if they got assaulted, they would have to be pregnant. Like, I want to lock them in a closet. Like, I just want to lock them in a closet, like, duct tape over and be like, sorry, bro, I'll feed you Doritos under the door. Like, I can't, there's so many big situations that are out of our control, and my gut response that's just dragging me around is, how do I keep you in the Pokeball to keep you safe? And then when they were in 4th grade, they wore fox ears and a foxtail everywhere. And they had, they were in a play for the Aristocats, and they had like a little dog collar with a belt. And they wanted to wear that thing everywhere. They loved the weight of it. They loved the little dingly of the bell. And my sister was very afraid, because other people's responses to, I'm going to use air quotes, furries, and she was very afraid of my kid getting hurt or getting bullied or getting assaulted. And my sister wanted to buckle down on my kid expressing themselves to keep them safe. And I understand. And at the end of the day, that fear and that staying in the closet and staying in the dark and quieting ourselves down is why we still have to have this conversation in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, case in point with my child and their grandfather. The grandfather has a really hard time, because he's older. I can understand the generational thing, but
the gays and the nays have been around since time immemorial.
Well, he was the type that, he'd be like, when the Bud Light thing was going on, being like,
but he wasn't going to buy it?
Yeah, he wasn't going to buy it. He switched beers, and he posted on his Facebook page. I'm like, hey, you do realize, now my younger one isn't on Facebook, but the older one is. I'm like, you do realize your grandson sees that, and his brother, well, they excuse me, is that situation, and he goes, you're right, and he took it down.
Ooh, but brownie points for Grandpa.
But he will still do that, and he goes, well, like Target, I don't see why they have to be throwing it in anybody's face. I'm like, okay, so they should remain in the closet. No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what you're saying. Yeah. You're saying you should stay in the closet. Yeah. No, I just don't want to see it. It didn't used to be that way. I'm like, well,
want it in the closet.
I'm like, so you want to go back to the days where it's Desi and Lucy, where they have separate beds, or Ernie and Bert,
Yeah. So I guess like the long and short of it is I really empathize with the fear, and all I can tell you is, except in the most extreme cases, which are the most scary, if someone does look sideways at your kid and you look sideways right the fuck back, they're gonna walk away.
Yeah. Well, and the whole bathroom thing is just stupid anyways, because I was at a festival in Vegas over the weekend. There's like 30,000 people there, and there's women in the men's room, and no one was complaining.
That was going to my point, is that they don't mind that women go use the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
It comes down, like, honestly, we can peel back all of the layers to all of the, like, if I catch a dude going in the bathroom, like, any of these things, it comes down to homophobia. There's a fear of men, and there's a fear of men being gay. And going one deeper, if you are gay, you are effeminate. If you are effeminate, you are a woman. And the worst thing to be is a woman. So, like, sounds like a lot of mommy issues. But I really, really feel you, and I don't think that you're hypocritical. I think that you're doing the best you can with the tools that you have and being involved in the community. Hypocritical would be having this kid and telling this kid you love them, you support them, you want them for them, and then being like, but we don't go to Pride. We don't talk about that. Like, that would be hypocritical. Yeah. But instead you're like, where do I hang the gay? Like, where do I put it? On the windows?
Well, and I think it helps that I do what I do, because they see that and what he is out there really doing.
Holding that space, that's all that we can do.
And I, if it's alright, I would like to piggyback off of MJ's story about kind of the whole, from the child's perspective, because I feel like my parents kind of went through a similar thing that I feel like you might be going through. Of course, everyone's situation is individual, and everyone's situation is specific to themselves. But my parents, my father's a whole other story, but my mother really, really struggled to support me, because she's very much the type of parent that's like, I will love you and protect you no matter what. However, this is something I don't know how to handle. And her initial reaction when, well, first of all, I didn't come out. I was outed by another family member. But when she found out, she was very much like, no, that can't happen. Very much trying to, I actually remember the exact quote. She said, oh God, not another one. Because my brother had come out as gay previously. And so me being the child was like, that means that my mom doesn't want me to be what I am. And that is the worst thing that you can get from a parent, is not 100% support, because your parents are supposed to be the comfort, the protection. They're supposed to be your entire world, and they are everything to you. So when you don't get immediate support with something like that, it is very scary. And there has been growth. There of course has been. She's now very accepting of, whoever you're going to marry is none of my business. She still is probably insistent that I'm going to marry a man, which, sorry Mom if you're listening, not going to happen.
You've picked the bear, we know.
It is scary, and I can understand that, but at the end of the day, at least for me, all that your kid wants is support. All your kid wants to know is that you're doing your best to use their pronouns and respect their sexuality, and hang that gay flag everywhere you can, because that means the world to them.
Yeah.
If my mom were to show up one day wearing a I love my lesbian child t-shirt, I'd be like, yeah, Mom! Like, that would be awesome. Yeah. And that's really all that's necessary.
My child also has that problem where it's reached that age, like, Dad's evil.
Yeah.
He's an ass.
That is awful. Yeah, like, that's fair. And I definitely went through that
I'm like,
well.
I take you to do such cool shit.
So you went through that as well, from a child's perspective.
Yeah.
Well, what do we do?
Okay, so, like I said, really...
Giving us the secrets.
Yeah, so I did the not having immediate support on top of I'm a teenager and hate my parents and everything they do anyway. It was really hard to just kind of move on from that and, realize my parents are people and that they make mistakes and they don't really know how to handle every single possible thing. Really, every single teenager hates their parents at some point. Every single teenager is going to rebel because they want to be their own person, and they're doing their best to grow up, even though, you don't want them to, because that's your baby, But in my opinion, the best thing that you can do is let them do what they're going to do, protect them as much as you can, while still allowing them to do the things they're going to.
Yeah, what you have to do, have to go out there and experience life and
exactly,
kick them out of
And
at the bird's nest at some point.
Yeah.
And go, all right, fly or don't.
I will be honest, my mother was very strict, and there is still so much stuff that I did fully under her nose. So, like, it's horrifying to think of, I'm sure, as a parent, but no matter how much you restrict and try to protect your children, they are going to do stuff
They're
anyway.
gonna figure out a way to do it.
I handle it kind of the opposite because of that.
And that's how my mom is. I feel like she's very
Like, you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather you talk to me when shit hits the fan.
I feel like that's the best way to handle it.
and I feel like that's
Just tell them you have my support, whatever you're gonna do. Just know that if it goes wrong, I'm always here and I'll get you out of it. And I will be there to help you through anything.
And what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, from the perspective of somebody who grew up as a really accepting mom who did try, I feel like she just kind of let me be my own person for the most part, even when I was really, because I came out at like 13, and I was like, I think that I'm bi, I think that I'm pan, and you know, it's fluctuated over time, and still, I'm not 100% sure, like I don't have a label for it, but I feel like being open with them is one of the biggest things, too. Like, just, hey, sometimes it does scare me, but you have my support, and, you know, and I love you, and I just, like, I worry from a parent's perspective, because if they can understand that young, like, that is, I feel like that's what my mom always did. Like, I trust you and I love you, but I just worry because I'm your mom, and, you know, like, it's just
I'm a person that cares for you.
Yeah. But I feel like emphasis on that.
Yeah, that's the direction that I take, even out, like, to be honest, the LGBT category of everything in my house, it's like, do you like grape jelly or strawberry? Like, it doesn't,
I love that.
no ripples. It doesn't matter. I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but that doesn't even hit the Richter scale.
Yeah.
My oldest is my stepson, and his life was very different before he met me, and he's even talked about, like, I didn't know anybody gay, and I thought that was really bad, and then you come in here with your colored hair, like, that's a direct quote. And he was kind of opening up, and he was really, really worried to start talking about his life and sharing that, and one of the things that he was, like, really holding close to the chest was vaping. He's 16, and he's like, I vape. And I was like, bro, I just quit smoking in January.
That's,
You're on the basketball
I think I was
team.
like 16
Good
when
luck,
I told
Ronnie.
my mom, I was like, I smoke weed. I smoke weed sometimes, and she was like, I don't understand why you would want to do that, but okay. Like, because she smoked weed for the first time, and she, like, her and weed don't match.
Yeah.
Or me and weed do.
Weed and I do not mesh either.
Yeah.
But that's how I personally handle it. But
Yeah, very.
I end up
You're on the right
blocking.
track, though.
I end up blocking myself on balconies in Sedona when I smoke weed, so I don't.
we learned the hard way.
Yeah, life experiences, right?
So what do you have to look forward to?
I
Teenagers.
Oh, I have one. He just turned 13 this year.
Yeah, well,
He's fun.
Well, wait. Just wait.
13's a fun enough age.
Oh, he should be 16. Like, he tried to vape.
Oh.
He goes to Kingman Middle School and he tried to vape. He was like, Mom, it was horrible. I was like, that's good. Don't smoke it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I since we're on this subject, we met Devin 2 years ago. Two years ago. Yeah. Yeah. And again, when you came up and told your story in particular stood out. And I'll let you get into it. But that was a story that not only Snow and I were wearing sunglasses because we were getting a little misty-eyed, but when you walked away, Snow and I turned to each other. I'm like, this right here is why we're doing this podcast. Because it was that impactful to us. So, you know, it's your story to tell. So let's go back. Let's go back to 2 years, and if you don't feel like comfortable instead of talking about it, we can, you know, we don't have to.
No, it's not that. It's just like, where do I start? You know, 2 years ago, it was just one of those things where I was able to just kind of like start it at that certain time, and now it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, growing up, I came out to my siblings first, around the age of like 8. You know, 8 years old, still in elementary school, but I knew what I wanted. Around the age of 12, I came out to my mom. Growing up, my biggest fear, and this is something I always remembered, was I wasn't going to tell my dad that I was gay until I moved out of the house. But 13 rolled around, and then 14 hit. That year was pretty hard already, you know. We just lost a family member. I got my first boyfriend. Long story. And I think I had been with him about 3 weeks. I was at my brother's house, and, you know, I decided I'm going to come out to my dad. Now, before that, it's just, like I said, it was scary, you know, he's a scary-looking person, and so I didn't really know how he'd react. And that was my biggest fear, was how he'd react. Because it was either A, he was going to accept it and it was going to be okay, or B, I was going to have nowhere to live. That's how I thought about it. So I came out to my dad, and he didn't talk to me for about 3 or 4 months after I came out to him. Worst part about it, my dad couldn't talk to me. He struggled with it for the most part, you know, just trying to wrap his head around it. And that's something I kind of learned and noticed, was he wasn't not talking to me because he wasn't accepting it. He was trying to get his mind around it and trying to figure out not only what he could and couldn't say around me, but also figure out how to be there. That same year I came out to him, a photo surfaced that my mom was sent of me in makeup, heels, skinny jeans, and a crop top. My mom was livid. She was so pissed. It was bad. Well, she had called my dad and told him about it, and to be honest, I think that was the first time I ever truly felt like panicked, other than just normal day things. But after coming out to my dad, it was a very rocky road. He still used certain words around me, you know, that really shouldn't have been. He still said certain things that shouldn't have been said, like, oh, who knows, maybe that girl will change you, and stuff like that, and it hurt.
How did he respond to that photo?
That was the one part I couldn't really wrap my head around, because like I said, he'd struggled for the first couple months trying to figure out what to say and how to react and everything. And even after those 4 or 5 months, he still kind of came off a little weird. My mom was mad, but he walked in my room, and I still remember this because this was one of the biggest moments I'd ever realized that like there was some form of like acceptance there. He had walked in my room, and this was my freshman year of high school. And he looks at me and he goes, "Do you wear makeup?" And me being a teenager, you know, you'd expect us to lie our way out of it. No, what are you talking about? No, I looked at him, I was like, yeah. And he was like, "Do you wear it at school?" And I told him, yeah. And I will always remember this. And even after this, it still took me about a year or two to feel comfortable wearing makeup in front of him. He just looked at me and said, "Please be careful."
Oof.
You know, and at that point, even though it doesn't sound like it's a big step, it still was to me, because instead of yelling at me or like telling me, "Don't be doing that," it was just, "Please be careful."
Yeah.
And so that was a really big step. Now, growing up in the LGBT community and growing up in that area where I still wasn't out to my dad and still struggling with that part, I had a really dark path. until a little after, up until this past July, or no, last July. It was just a rocky road mental health wise. My mom wasn't really there, my dad wasn't really there for most of my life. They just kind of focused on the two other siblings, my older and my younger family. And so growing up in that area, you know, already struggling with my sexuality and mental health, being singled out just kind of towered into that. And so in middle school, I took up self-harm, which I'm not proud of, and most of the scars I've now been covered up with tattoos. But yeah, I took on self-harm for a while. My first attempt was a little after I came out to my mom. And once my mom realized what was going on with my mental health, she kind of stepped in a little more and started being there a little more. Before I turned 18, I had a total of four attempts between the age of 13 to 17. Come July, my 18th birthday, so during Mohave Pride I think we had Mohave Pride 2021. I could be mistaken.
I think 2021 was digital.
I think so.
And I think you did a video for it.
I did.
Yeah, because it was 19, 22, and 23. It's 20,
This is fourth year in person.
Because 2020 it was supposed to be at Bullhead, but then COVID.
Yeah, 2020 and 21 were all digital.
And I mean, you know, kind of all, you know, that's that story, and you know, hey, but the difference between year one with 2022 and 2023, when you came up to us and you were all glammed out, you looked fabulous,
Yeah.
and they came up and said, "Do you recognize me?" And we're like, "Devin." Yes, and it was just so awesome to see the transformation from year one, where you looked sad and depressed, and then the next year you were just glowing, you know, and that was amazing. And we love you on the podcast, and we're doing it this year. You have to come in and sit with us some more.
I have so many funny stories for this year.
You know, and yes, that's what we want. We want funnier stories, and. You know, we'll just say that we love you. We love you, okay? You know, and you've always got support. You know, if you're ever feeling down, you know, you got this group, this table of people, all right? And that goes for anybody, because we all struggle with, you know, depression, anxiety, and, you know, I know I do. Yeah. Really bad. So, you know, and thanks for sharing. Okay. So, what are you going to be doing this year?
We got a booth. So basically, the agency I work with, we work with families in the area. The agency I work for is a very humanitarian kind of agency. So it doesn't matter whether you're illegal, legal, gay, whatever. They help you free of cost. So what we do is we basically, I don't know if you guys have ever had to like navigate resources in the community, like if you ever need help, like whether it be STD testing or you need birth control or any of that kind of stuff. What we do is we navigate it for you, because if you go somewhere like the health department, they just give you a flyer, oh, just call these numbers, and they don't tell you who has what. We're able to do that. So there's that, but we'll be there. I was a little nervous that they weren't going to let us have a booth, but they were like, oh yeah, we do Phoenix Pride too, you know, so they were all for it.
You were worried the company wasn't going to let you. I thought you were worried we weren't.
No, the company, because I know how it can be like with certain companies, they'd be like, oh, well, we don't want to get involved because it could seem political, but they don't see it as political, they just see it as a humanitarian thing, like human lives, like doesn't matter, we help them anyways, you know. So they were all for it. I was pretty excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a big supporter of the community.
Yep. Yeah,
Always have been.
I get in fights with people online all the time.
Yeah. If you know her on social media, she's always fighting the good fight with social justice issues, and she's not afraid. I don't even call myself my real name. I go by MJ because I'm afraid to get my opinions out there. But Sydney, no, loud and proud.
I love that.
Right. Yeah.
Where do we go to next here? Who's got anything? Amanda, you're pretty quiet today.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had anything to add to but I've grown up in a fairly accepting environment.
No, and I know your mom. I know Stella's mom.
Yeah.
Two of the coolest people
Yeah.
around.
And it's just so the relationship that I have with my gender and my sexuality is just I don't know. Neutral is the best way for me to put it. Just because I'm I don't know, I'm a person and I like other people, I guess. It's the most boring way to describe gender and sexuality, but I'm at a point where it's just kind of whatever, we're all people.
It's cool though, because you can see the two perspectives of you have these two over here where the families were kind of and then you guys both have families that are very accepting, so you're very comfortable in who you are. You don't struggle,
and
with that.
I'm not sure if maybe that's why I'm so comfortable in a female body, but I feel like I just am. And I feel like I got to grow up very, accepted and, I got to change and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't well, you just said this, so why is it changing to this? It was just kind of okay, whatever's going on with you, we accept that. And basically, as long as I was safe and I had anxiety, I was never doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
That's why my mom trusted me, because I was an anxious kid that wasn't ever going to do anything to get in trouble or...
I think my family also being so accepting, it's a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with my younger sibling, because my younger sibling came out as pansexual. I don't know how old they were, a while ago, and that was kind of weird for some people. I got into this huge argument with my grandma about it because she was that's not in the Bible, and I was I hate you. She's cool now. She actually helped organize a pride event in this teeny tiny mountain town in California. She's better now or whatever. But then also my sibling ended up coming out as non-binary, and that rocked everybody a little bit. But now everyone's cool with it, and I feel I've been kind of just tailing along behind my little sibling, just because I'm well, I've always felt this way, but I just never came out. Really, I never felt the need to come out. It's just something that maybe I've talked about, and I've definitely had discussions where I've been I went to prom with the girl, and my dad was "You're going to prom with a girl? When is?" I was I don't know. It's always been like this. Shut up. Go away. Stop talking to me. It's just, I don't know. But I think they had a lot to do with my family being so accepting, because they not tested the waters, but they jumped in, and then I just kind of followed along. So it's easier for me, for sure.
Yeah, so speaking of that, and one of the things, Taylor made that post about, and I've heard this before, the Mohave Pride is grooming kids.
Oh, I know exactly where this is coming from.
Yeah, and so...
We've made hygiene packs, but that's as far as our grooming goes.
Yeah, and I don't know who really listens to this podcast on the other side. We do get some hate listeners. I do know that.
I guarantee they're listening to us.
Oh, believe me.
I know it.
Hi, besties.
Well, I could tell you stories.
If there is anybody listening that's listening with like a critical ear or like a negative ear or anything like that, I really hope that whatever they are not accepting in themselves that leads them to looking for things to not accept about other people. I not in any kind of like sarcastic way. I really hope that they get help accepting whatever part that is.
Right.
Happy, healthy people don't do that.
Because
And we don't claim that energy.
because it was ridiculous during the whole Bud Light thing that and the whole thing was we weren't advertising to the community. They just made a special commemorative can for one person.
Yeah.
And it gets blown out. And, oh, hey, Bud Light's grooming or Target's grooming. And one of my friends, a close friend, and one of my oldest friends since, I was probably 17 and he was 14 or something like that, sent me this thing about how Pride festivals are grooming people. And I'm like, why would you send me that?
Yeah.
It was a private message.
What's
I'm
the
like,
thought?
yeah, well, I'm like, what, you think you're going to win me over by...
Well, I mean, like, what's the thought behind the fear of grooming? Like, what does that look like? I haven't read any of the articles. I don't...
Yeah.
Man, I gotta draw for tattoos. Like, I don't have time to read this shit. Like...
So their idea is that transgender or queens are trying to sexualize the children. That's what their ideas are, which is totally not what happens.
I've even heard that about, like, not even just transgender and queens, like, just gay
Well,
people.
to be honest, like, I have 3 little girls, and I would much rather them be around a transgender person or a queen before I'd let them around some random heterosexual dude.
Yeah.
Yes, I would, and I've had people like, I can't believe you say that, and I'm like, I know nothing's going to happen to them. They're safe.
Yeah. That's
Most I'm
scary.
gonna do is
Make
act
over!
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do makeup!
My niece came up with
Yeah.
which that's actually a funny story because on my way to Mohave Pride last year, I got chased down by 3 grown men in the Safeway parking lot.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah,
you're the one
and
to hear.
they were claiming that, like, oh, it's a words I can't say. And when I got in my vehicle, there was a lady in a gray SUV. I don't know who you are, but I thank you so much for what you did. She pulled out of her spot to let me go through her spot to get out of there. And when she pulled back in her spot, she got out and started yelling at those men. I've been told by multiple people, because I'm a drag queen, because I'm a part of the LGBT community, and I perform at Pride events, that I'm trying to convince these kids to become gay. And I told multiple people, you don't become gay.
No one would just
Yes.
that way.
And can we dispel this rumor? Did you get taught this in school? Do teachers teach you this?
That is why you need to have
No, and I feel like the thing there is when you're at school, you have peers. So then you have peers that are gonna accept you or not accept you, and
you can compare stories.
Yeah, you can compare stories, and it's just like kind of like social media. Like there's more reach and more people sharing their stories, and just I don't know.
Right, and on that note, this town being this town, as my child was starting to dress more feminine, I had that fear, like, oh, are they going to get bullied at school? And I would ask them, like, are there other kids? Yes, they're very accepting. I'm like, wow, and I'm like, well, it's a generational thing, and
It really is, and I feel like the older generation doesn't understand that gender and sex is not the same. It is not the same. And sex is what you are biologically assigned to at birth, and gender is who you identify as. And they don't understand that. They can't get it.
Right.
It sucks to try to explain it to them too, because they still don't
Well, and there's a whole science behind it too.
Yeah.
Like there's other animal species that are gay.
Yeah. Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Frogs.
Frogs.
Yeah.
Monkeys.
So, ducks.
You're a toad? Yes.
Ribbit.
So I always hate that argument. Well, it's either this or this. You're either A or B. No, you're not either A or B.
That's not the human experience.
No.
Everything is a
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Everything.
Even sex, even sex is a spectrum. Like, there are not just
Like the chromosome.
There are not just
Yeah.
XX and XY chromosomes.
No.
More people have crazy combinations of those than anybody will ever know.
And different presentations and different, like, it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biology was not made, biology was distilled down into whatever we got in freshman year, and people are just like running with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And it's so.
And it's definitely changed. I'm going to be 37, and when I went to school, science has changed immensely. The medical field has
Well,
changed
that's
immensely.
exactly science.
grown.
Science is always
Yes.
changing.
Yes.
And the argument that people love to use is, this is freshman biology, this is 5th grade science. Well, guess what? Math isn't 2nd grade math. Math isn't 5th grade math. We don't stop learning at these grades. Guess what? It expands beyond that. You are learning the basics. There is more. You just haven't learned it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And the notion that it's being taught in preschool, is just absolutely ridiculous.
there's the conversations like these of what unaccepting people think or what unaccepting stories are circulating. Normally, the only person that I talk to about it with is my 11-year-old because their favorite word is arson. So we talk about these things.
Do you hide the matches?
God, every time we talk about it, I look at my phone. I'm like, for legal purposes, this is a joke. But there's this strange disconnect, like you were explaining with the kid's grandparent that was upset because Target made things available.
Right.
And there's this feeling when people who are not accepting see that acceptance is being made available, that it's immediately being forced. Like, I have a couple of friends that are starting an after-school program to take the place of Club for Youth. And they're the cutest fucking gay couple I've ever seen. One of them is a librarian, one of them teaches 2nd grade. They're very cute, very gay. And one of them sent me a screenshot and said, well, we got our first hate comment. And it was somebody, it wasn't necessarily, it was hate. It wasn't acceptance. It was, why do we have to know that they're a same-sex couple? Back in my day, that didn't matter, blah, 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 blah. Just having acceptance available does not mean that acceptance is being forced. And I think that people that are in a place where they can accept that are going to accept it. And people that are in a place to accept that, they're just going to keep saying wild shit. And I don't have time for that conversation. Yeah. So, the shit that's going to happen at Locomotive Park and, the march, great. Take sunscreen. Goodbye. I got shit to do over here.
Exactly. And on that note, again, for those who don't know, there's a church who does a counter protest across the street, and it's out. It's not directly across the street.
It's a Jesus Lives festival.
Yeah.
At Locomotive.
So much fun doing that.
Yeah. And part of me wants to go.
I paid them a visit last year.
We took them to Cinnamon Rolls.
I remember.
Part of me wants to go because this thing I plug into, I can tote it around and I can do interviews, walk around. Part of me wants to go up to them, and then I go, no, should I really be giving these people a voice and let them do their own podcast? Part of me, though, wants to do it like Comedy Central and ask them the most dumb question, just to say something dumb back to me, and be like, okay, you sound like an idiot.
So,
and the biggest one that I want to go is, Jesus would be the most progressive person on the planet and be accepting of everyone.
Yeah.
Anything else, any other argument is nullified right there.
Yeah.
the question that you just asked, whether or not these people should have a voice, at some point during really important development, they didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
And their little is still in there, like screaming to be heard. And I don't want this to come across as like we have to accept bigotry or we have to accept like that behavior or welcome that into our lives. But I don't want to fall into the very mirrored trap of demonizing people. Because at the end of the day, they're regular human beings doing the best they can with the tools they got. And whatever fear, pain, hurt, whatever they have inside of them that is eating away at them, they're hurting way more than I could ever do.
Yeah. I mean, to be like that angry at other people, you do have something going on there.
Yeah, well, that's like the saying, hurt people are going to always hurt other people. Like, and it's sad because I feel bad for people like that because I'm like, man, I am so glad I'm not that person. Like, I'm so glad I don't hurt people. You know, like, you gotta be really miserable.
Yeah, it's like it's like the bathroom issue. I just go in and I just want to use the bathroom. I don't want to make eye contact with anybody. I don't care who's next to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I walk through Walmart like that. Just get me through here. I don't care. I'm not looking at anyone.
It's a toilet.
The public bathroom is not a good experience for anybody.
No.
No.
Everybody's praying that we don't hit the water too loud. Everybody's like, can I please turn the volume
I've
down on
gone
my
in the
stream?
Walmart bathroom and had people straight up like grunting in there. And I was like, okay. Like, it stinks. And
I don't care if
there's
that's a man or a woman in there, they are struggling.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just like,
Yeah,
they're
right.
shit.
They're giving birth
Okay.
to their food.
Fiber, aisle 7. Either way.
No, but on that bathroom topic, I just wanted to chime in real quick because that's one thing. I work at the furniture store here on Andy next to Cal Ranch, the Ashley outlet. And we have unisex bathrooms, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter which one you go into, they're both just bathroom.
Are they just like the single stall?
They don't even have stalls. You walk in, it's toilet, sink.
Oh yeah. Single restroom
Yeah.
and then
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
That's good.
But
Do people complain though?
we had one customer, or that I know, I had one guest talk to me about it, and she was like, why does everything have to become unisex nowadays? She was like, why isn't it just a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom? She was like, I don't want to go in a bathroom if a guy's, been in there and peed on the seat or did this. And I was like, if someone peed on the seat, tell me, I'll gladly go in there with some gloves and clean the seat for you to sit on.
Been to a porta potty?
Right?
Like,
And so, like, I brought that up to her, and I was like, the only reason we have them as unisex bathrooms is A, because Ashley is a supporting brand of the Pride community. I was like, and B, this store ain't big enough for 2 separate bathrooms that are going to have 4 stalls in each bathroom for a woman and a man when they're literally single-person bathrooms. I was like, it makes no sense to do that. I was like, and plus, if one bathroom's already taken, no one wants to have to wait outside of that bathroom to go to the bathroom. There's a perfectly open right there.
yeah.
And so,
It's wild that bothered her.
sometimes I just want to keep a bag of like colorful glitter in my pocket and go, you got me. Sorry, honey, it's
Have the day you deserve.
That one is always so weird to me, like the unisex single bathrooms, like people getting upset, like any house that you've been into.
It's a unisex bathroom.
But Walmart has always had an option for like a family or unisex bathroom.
Yeah,
Like, why
exactly.
are they complaining now? It's even when I was a
It-
child.
well,
Because they want something.
No, and that's social media though. I mean, we've become really divided over the last 8 to 10 years or so, where everything, and now with social media, everybody's got an opinion, and either you're here or here. You're this side or you're this side now. There's no in between. There's no that feeling like me. Like I don't care who's in the bathrooms. You know. If you're really that obsessed about it, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean?
There's some kind of traumatic
about that,
or something that was like buried down inside of them that they just can't get past. I know a lot of homophobic men probably are gay and they don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
Well, but I think that's also changing though, because society as a whole is becoming more accepting, and it's gonna keep. That's why it calls progressive, because it's gonna keep on progressing.
Oh, as
and people are afraid of that change.
Yeah.
It's just natural to some people.
But it's progressively going fast, or further, and it's getting where it needs. It's not where it is or where it should be, but it's getting there.
Okay.
Because the older folks are past.
Okay. On that note, who here is registered to vote? Okay. You.
I think I am. I don't know.
You think you are?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Well, if you think you are, I have some voter registration forms right here. You should probably fill one out just in case. Just because I would not tell anyone how to vote. I just would say, look at the issues that are most important to you, and this fall it's going to be very important to vote, because I don't know if there will be a chance to change what might happen if things go a certain way. You know, and that's the biggest political stump speech I would give on this, because I don't. Yeah. People don't like when we talk about politics in this podcast.
The most you can really say is do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research on it, and and you choose the issues that are most important to you. And I think the little light will go off on which way. You know, like Taylor Swift gets a lot of crap for saying, hey, go out and vote. She doesn't tell you how to vote, but you kind of know.
Yeah.
You sort of know. Okay, yeah, she probably, But voices like that, even though she gets shit, is very powerful, because it's going to get people to vote in the next election.
Absolutely.
I know you're kind of snickering at Taylor Swift, but
No, I'm laughing because
She did my lock screen, that's why.
Oh, okay.
They're staring at me.
Okay. So you're a fan. I was like, oh yeah, look at him making a Swiftie comment.
Sorry, two Swifties over here in the corner going crazy.
Yeah.
Never done with that.
I'm not into her music, but I watched her concert on Disney Plus. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
I like her lyrics.
Yeah.
Not so much of the music placement, but her lyrics are really good.
In my opinion, because I'm obsessed with her, she's an incredible songwriter, so I agree. My friends get annoyed with me about how much I talk. Like, every 2 seconds, guess what Taylor Swift just did? Guess what she's gonna do? She didn't do it, by the way. She's never going to. There's too many fan theories. Anyway, let's get off topic to Taylor Swift. Not important.
Anyway, the point is, vote. However you're gonna vote.
don't forget, go out and vote.
Yeah. All right. So, anybody else have anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? This is the time. All right. I see you.
I have a topic. So I was on TikTok probably 2-3 weeks ago, and I ended up joining into someone's live, and the live was a political debate. Well, not political, but a debate about who pushes their religion more or beliefs more, Christianity or the LGBT community. And mind you, I sat in this live for a good 10 minutes just listening before I hopped in and decided to chime in. And there were a lot of points, but my biggest point to this was either way, there's going to be a group in either side there's going to be that small handful of people that do want to be pushy about what they believe in and who they are. And that is perfectly fine. I was like, but people take the LGBT community having a Pride Month and having certain things like Pride wear, like the rainbow and stuff like that, being sold and out there as us pushing our beliefs.
Or you stole the rainbow.
Exactly. And it's we're not pushing our beliefs. We're just being us. You chose to show up to the Pride event. You chose to sit there and ridicule people, and it's not that we're pushing our beliefs. You decided you were going to show up to that. You didn't have to show up. No one has to show up.
Yeah. No one's forcing you to take your kids to this.
Yeah.
Like,
and at the same time, on that is if they wanted to have a straight Pride Festival, well then, more power to you. Go out, put the work in, and do it.
The straights are really sad though, so it would be an awful festival.
it would be all like
Yeah.
gray and white,
Yeah.
black and white.
They're very depressed.
Are you saying I'm straight?
No. But you have color to your depression.
True.
You have personality pizzazz to your
Yes.
mental.
My depression is like the vomit of a unicorn.
In that conversation, the part that I don't understand is the idea of pushing beliefs when the belief is I deserve to exist.
Exactly.
My child
Right.
deserves to exist.
And that was another topic
Like-
I brought up. Was like, no one's pushing their beliefs. Just because we represent our beliefs and may have, like, Christians have certain items around their household that represent their Christianity.
Right.
I grew up Christian, I was raised in a Christian church. But I still am going to hang a pride flag on the front of my house or in my house, because that just represents who I am.
And how much of that hanging of the flag or like wearing a pin or anything like that is to state, like just for the sole purpose of stating who we are, and how much of it is like, hey, I'm safe. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a safe person.
Exactly.
That is definitely a big part of it.
I wear rainbow stuff just to let people know I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is awesome.
Even though I'm not, part of the community,
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Yeah. Just knowing
Nothing wrong
that
with that.
is really nice.
You're a part of our community.
Aw.
You're an ally.
I'm an ally.
Ally.
But no, and that was like my biggest pet peeve. And then they brought up how that was being taught in schools. And I brought up a very, very, like, straightforward fact. None of the teachers in at least the schools I went to ever brought up the LGBT
They don't.
community.
Yeah, they
I
don't.
learned about Marsha P. Johnson through through YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
I learned about a lot of these LGBT related things through the internet. And I told her that.
Right.
Do you? How long have you guys been out of? You're around my age.
Yeah, I'm around your age.
You're.
I graduated 2022.
I didn't graduate, but it would have been 2021.
It also would have been 2021 for me.
Okay, so you guys are 20, 21?
21.
21? So you remember sophomore-ish, junior history and learning all about World War II.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Did you learn about the Pink Triangle?
I
got
did.
that on
In school.
I did. But I will say, the history teacher that I learned about it from was the coolest history teacher I've ever had, and he was very much the kind of guy, shout out Mr. Kopecki, he was the kind of guy that he wanted people to know everything.
History.
He wanted people to know every side. But I will say, truthfully, the Pink Triangle was a very brief thing. It was like, oh yeah, so in World War II, Jewish people had to wear their symbol, and then these people had to wear this symbol. And oh yeah, there was the gay people too. that
Okay,
had
so
Pink Triangle.
then we
Anyway.
did briefly learn about that. And
Yeah, and I think
I-
I'm
the
just bad at
reason
it.
why they don't delve into it is because it's public school.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
trouble.
also embarrassing because it makes the U.S. forces that liberated the concentration camps look like assholes because they then arrested everybody wearing a pink triangle.
Yeah. And I will say, it's still like, yes, they said gay people had to wear the Pink Triangle, but then it was still like World War II was Nazis versus Jewish people. It was not. It was Nazis versus minorities, and these were the other people that were being affected. It was all. It was anti-Jewish, and that was the. And yes, it very much was, but there were also other communities affected, and that was never touched on really.
That's the thing that just, like, every time somebody's like, it's being taught in school. No, the fuck it's not.
No, it's
It's
not.
No.
it's brushed under the rug.
I mean,
I didn't learn about the Pink Triangle until I was in college.
Yeah.
I am just learning about it right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, buddy.
Wow.
I apologize.
You need to go do some history searching.
Well,
Google.
given my age, everything was whitewashed when I was in school.
There was French, no, Dutch painter that was gay, and to stop Nazi forces from getting their hands on the records to like hunt down Jewish members of their community, he and his boyfriend bombed the Social Security office.
All right.
Yeah. And his last words were basically, gays aren't cowards. Those are his last words.
So you said you're a tattoo artist?
She did a few monkeys.
I would love that
Have
tattoo
their
on my body.
tattoo
That's
paint
awesome.
truck.
Yeah, so
got money to go to.
We'll plug your business.
Yeah, I mean, since I randomly switched topic.
Come on, plug.
So I own Till Death Tattoo with my partner out in Golden Valley. Helena's mama comes and stabs people with us. And to my knowledge, we are the only shop that invites by name BIPOC and LGBT communities. Our parking poles outside are painted rainbow. I was so stoked when we went to look at the property, and I was like, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple! I'm just lucky to own a business, so our business is going to sponsor stickers and flyers for the event. We ordered those. Pride's really struggling. We don't have any sponsors other than my company, which is really just me. Yeah.
I would sponsor, but I don't make any money at this.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, all of the companies that have sponsored before, we reached out to them and they said, no, we can't do it this year.
Many companies are listening that want to sponsor Pride.
Have you reached out to the furniture company I work for?
No, if you'd like to reach out to them, that'd be
I
great.
will talk to him. I'll reach out to my GM and talk to him Saturday and see if I can't see if him and the dog will help sponsor something.
Cool. So as far as tattooing goes, it's been a space that has been heavily dominated by white cis men traditionally. And it's really, really cool watching the change in the last 5 to 10 years. I'm kind of seeing it after the fact and going back through and listening to interviews from people that have been tattooing for longer than I have, like your mom. And seeing autistic voices come into the space, seeing BIPOC voices and LGBT voices not only come into the space, but crash down walls so domestic violence survivors have a place where they don't have a panic attack walking into a room full of men staring at them. We need community and we need safety in all aspects of our life, in festivals and where we get our services and where we buy our goods. We need that representation. So even if you can't volunteer for Pride or be an organizing member of Pride, whatever space you have in your life, fill it up to the best of your ability, and you living your best, most authentic self life gives the people around you the permission to live theirs, and it's a ripple effect.
Anybody else? Anything else? I think that's probably a good spot. This again, we'll be there. I hope to see everybody here.
Oh, I'll be there.
I'm dragging
I
next
have to
along.
be there.
Right?
I was going anyway.
You get to.
I get to be there.
You're going to be my fellow co-host when my old co-host goes off. So, okay.
I accidentally booked a tattoo on Saturday of Pride, and then I called her back and I was like, hey bro, I'm a dumbass. And then booked your tattoo the weekend of Pride. Can we do it the next week? She's like, it's even better. It's my birthday.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I'll be there.
All right. Look forward to it.
I'll be there just in a different manner.
So excited for that.
We're looking forward to that. All right, this went better than I knew it was going to be really good. It went better than expected. It was one of those ones where I don't usually get stage fright before I do it. You know, I just turn it on. When I first started this podcast, I would get in and be like, oh man, what the fuck am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? And so slowly it progressed, and this was the first time I was like, oh, wow, all right. This is important. This is important stuff to talk about right here. So get it right. So, thank you, Willow.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Sid, for all you do. Thank all you've come and sharing your stories. It's very important, and we want to do more of that. I think I need to do more of that this year, work more on my end of getting people to come and share their stories, opening up, because I think it makes everybody feel better that we're not all alone in this. And not that I'm an ally, I'm not part, I'm an ally, but I deal with the same struggles that we all deal with as humans, day to day.
And as humans, I feel like it's about connection. Like, that's so important.
It comes down to community.
Community,
right. And,
being able to connect with.
And as much as I kind of rag on this town, I will say some of my biggest, best people I've known in my entire life are the people that I have met here. Like-minded people. And, like both of your moms, we can talk to each other about anything, just randomly. We'll just randomly just go off on each other, and to have that kind of friendship with people is really important when you're struggling yourself. Yeah. All right, so on that note, we will see you all in 2 weeks from this weekend, right?
Way too short.
Yeah. May 18th and 19th, Metcalf Park.
Yep. 10 to 6.
10 to 6, and then the after parties. If you don't, follow the Mohave Pride page, learn more, see what you can do. There's a list of all the positions that are open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, on our link tree.
if anybody can help fill those positions, because we want this to continue, because I can understand the burnout that happens in trying to put this on.
Oh, yeah, especially doing it, as one, not even one person, but just being.
There's 4 of us.
Yeah. Being such a small group of people in a small town trying to.
So it does take a special person to do what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, we'll wrap this up, and we'll just go from there. So see you all in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.